Hey everyone, Skull902 here, and today I'm going to be taking another trip with my memory lane buddies. Today it's all about merchandise, and man, uh, this was a pretty interesting selection. The vote went to a tie, so I had to do a tiebreaker vote and everything. That was a first for this one. But we are going to be talking about the collectibles, the little trinkets and knickknacks of our favorite intellectual properties and everything. Joining me here today are Cat Cooper
Sup, I'm drinking McDonald's sweet tea. Not sponsored.
and Yancy Coco Chad.
Hello, they turned my tanks into fucking wanks.
I know, right? Uh, we may or may not be joined by Lady Lazuli. She has not yet responded to calls to come on in here. So, Laz, even though I know you're not a channel member and therefore cannot be watching this right now, um, get in here. Uh, but yeah, again, it's going to be all merch, all collectibles, all that sort of stuff. Um, we all like things, and having things that we create emotional attachments with. So let's get off. That is a horrible way of phrasing, but let's start with our first question. Uh, what do you prefer to collect? If there's any like particular item, say home media or plushes, action figures, apparel, maybe for whatever reason you like collecting sandals of your favorite characters. I don't know. Uh, but just to start this one off, I'll go
I collect
first.
condoms.
Oh God.
And I can't
Used.
even. Oh God. Oh man, check out my used Dragon Ball Z Vegeta Collector's Edition kit.
Just his
Oh my
face
God.
stretched out.
What a horrible way this episode has started. So, what do you prefer to collect? I'll start off, and I say it's kind of a tie between figures and plushes, and the reason for that is just that I don't know they've just always been what I've liked the most. Plushes are really nice in the way that when you get a really good one, uh, it just makes a big impression, I think. Like I'll just throw out there one that you'll be seeing in a little slideshow later. I have like the GE Amy Rose plush modern, for example. They did a pretty good likeness, you know. Uh, so that's kind of like what I think about plushes, and depending on the material too. Oh man, like the Sine Mario ones, for instance, that soft material, the embroidered eyes, good fucking craftsmanship. Uh, and as far as figures go, I probably have like a bit of an immature mindset about them, but it's just the posability, you know. If I had like a proper display, I would be changing like Superman's pose every now and then, uh, because that's it's fun. Um, to you guys, if there's any particular item that you like to collect, Yancy, I know just how much you love collecting Sonic the Hedgehog kitchenware. Uh,
Yes, definitely.
we'll start with you. Is there any like particular item that you like to collect more than others?
I mean, outside of games, of course, I would say I love collecting like DVDs. I love collecting home media. I get immense amounts of satisfaction to it. You know, specifically Dragon Ball. And I think you'll be seeing that in the slideshows here. But I'm a very, 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 very big Dragon Ball guy, and it looks good on a shelf. Like these Dragon boxes, they look gorgeous on a shelf. My manga, they look gorgeous on a shelf, and it really does liven up the room just a little bit more, just a little bit extra.
Yeah, home media definitely makes a really good display piece. There was a good while when I was a teenager when I would I would hit up the FYE at one of my favorite malls. The mall that we went to, actually, Cat, last November, which is now closed. Uh,
Rest in
and
Aw.
peace.
yeah, yeah, nah. I just wanted to go there one final time because I knew like that place was in limbo for years. So
Yeah.
but that's a bit aside from the point. I would go to FYE. It was mainly to add to my Godzilla collection. But getting like used DVDs there was so convenient. At 16, 17, 18 years old. Uh, and would surprisingly find some like good deals as well. Like Spider-Man 2, for instance. I got it like back when the DVD first came out as a Christmas gift. But the second disc went missing. And I always kind of thought, geez, I wish I could get that second disc. I found the whole set, like right there for $4, and I was like, I'm yoinking this. uh, so, yeah, home media is pretty good. Spidey, welcome, hello. Welcome to the stream. I have to make a correction, by the way, to something I said just a couple minutes ago. We're not going to be seeing that Amy GE plush in the slideshow, but don't worry, we'll be seeing some other cool shit. Kat, what is your particular favorite item, if any, to collect?
I don't think I have one that I like set out to collect, but looking around my apartment and my office specifically, I collect Funko Pops, I collect keychains, I've got plushes everywhere. Like it's kind of a mixed bag of stuff.
I know Funko definitely takes up a lot of your space, and might I say, for shame.
Oh, fuck
I'm
off.
sorry about Funko. Okay, so it's okay to make fun of her Funko for her Funko Pop obsession.
That's
Okay.
that's something we've been having for like I think almost as long as we've known each other. She really likes
Oh my
Funko
god,
Pops.
guys, I collect Funko Pop.
She
Oh, fuck off, both of you.
she really likes Funko Pops. I think that the vast majority of them are really ugly.
Yeah, I don't like the Funko design.
It works in some instances. I'll give him that. But I even have one on my Amazon wish list that I was like, oh my god, the design actually fits for this. But that's neither here nor there. So that's our first little category. Number two, your most abundant collection. So the series, the franchise, the IP, whatever you want to call it, that you have the most of. Uh, Kat, let's start with you.
I think for me, it's a toss up between Sonic and Dungeons and Dragons, to be honest.
I
Because
I was fully expecting Pokemon.
no, surprisingly, no. I can see why you would think that, but surprisingly, no. I think Pokemon would be like a close third. But just I was looking around the other day trying to just kind of get an idea of what the hell do I collect? Because you ask me something, I'm like, and so yeah, just looking around. I've got Sonic Funko Pops, I've got D&D Funko Pops, I've got dice, I've got Sonic T-shirts. Like I've just out of all of my fandoms in my apartment, I think those are the top two.
Gotcha. Um, Yancy, of all the stuff that you like, what franchise do you have the most of? And I
But
think I
before I
know the
say,
answer.
well, before I say what I have the most of, believe it or not, Sonic I'm actually not that diehard of a collector for. Gasp, shock, wow. Pokemon would be in close second. Dragon Ball is the thing I have collected the most, and I think I have collected the longest time. Like, I have so much Dragon Ball shit. Like, I have so much Dragon Ball stuff.
And I can
Like, I
verify we
literally,
will be seeing a
I
lot of that in the slideshow later.
by the time I'm fully moved into this house, or I guess the shack in general speaking terms, but it's a house, but I call it a shack. An entire section of my room will be specifically dedicated to just Dragon Ball. I literally have to have an entire like quarter of my room dedicated to Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah, no, like there's some stuff I would really want to do if I could just like fully just deck out a house. Oh my God. Uh, so I totally get you there. Spidey here says, "You won't believe what I collect. Would it perhaps, as
Human
you,
bones?
Mr. Ultimate Spider Plush, would it be perhaps cardboard cutouts of DC characters?"
I mean, that's a pretty good hobby. That has a lot of good resale value.
This is a premium 1989 Batman standee from the movie theater.
From the movie theater.
As far as me, I really kind of had to think about it for a moment. But if I'm being totally honest, I think it's actually professional wrestling stuff. Like I have a shitload of figures from when I was a kid. And accessories for those figures. I've got like like toy championship belts, at least one replica of a belt. So as far as like the total amount of items, um, I think it actually is pro wrestling. I got stuff like from a bunch of different promotions and everything, multiple different companies. There will be a pretty fun story when we get to the fan question later about that. But yeah, and kind of like what Yancey said, like as far as Sonic collecting goes, I would love to do more, but for how long I've been a fan, I don't have as much as like one would probably expect of me because Sonic's like my favorite franchise ever. And it's kind of a surprise to me and I guess anyone who would know me well enough that like I I'm not about to say that I don't have much Sonic stuff because I got like a pretty good amount, but if I put it in a display, I think the shelf space would lack compared to other things. Spidey here says, believe it or not, I used to collect Hulk figures. Just specifically the Hulk? Interesting.
Oh wow.
I'm kind of
No, but
surprised I've never had a figure of the Hulk. But what were you saying, Yancey?
I guess in terms of abundancy, I'd probably. I mean, this will probably be near the end. I'll just prattle off exactly how much stuff I have by the end. Probably by the time of the slideshow, probably is when I'll probably prattle off stuff.
Gotcha. Uh, so topic number 3 here, an interesting one. Your most valuable piece. So if you see this like online or whatever, and you see it's going for a lot of money, perhaps you bought something knowing it was rare, or got like just so happened to get like a rare find or something. What is that for you? And Yancey will go first for you.
Well, let's just say the most valuable thing in my collection is about as much worth as a car these days.
Jesus Christ, what is it?
It is. So take a, I guess hopefully they see it, but those Z Dragon boxes, like the ones with Goku and Gohan on the spine cover.
We will
Those
be
are
seeing
the
those later.
those are the American Dragon boxes. Those were released in very limited quantities in the U.S. and I picked them up. And the first one was signed by Team 4-Star people.
Oh, nice.
So that automatically skyrockets the value. But this was back when the US Dragon boxes were not horribly expensive. Like it was about $60, $70 a piece. I received them all as a gift when I was younger.
Wow.
Well, here was the crazy thing. I actually have a story on how I actually managed to actually get my hands on the Dragon boxes effectively.
Did you just like ask a bunch of different family members for like one specific one?
Well, the first one was a gift, of course. That was the first one.
Right.
Then the rest of them, this was when Dragon Box 2 specifically was getting up there in price. I think it was like $200 at the time.
Right.
And so I inherited a very big NES collection, like an American NES collection, not a Famicom collection. And there was a whole bunch of games in them. There was one game in there specifically that was Flintstone Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. and that game is worth a very, very good chunk of change. So I received that game as technically a gift with a whole bunch of other stuff. That was the one game I sold, and then that's how I got a bunch of the rest of the Dragon boxes.
Holy shit.
And that was a good $600 well spent.
So what you're saying is that Fred Flintstone is responsible for your very
Feeding in my
valuable
Dragon Ball
collection.
Yes, and nowadays I think like even just regular Z boxes. I looked earlier today and I tried looking on eBay and all this stuff. American Z boxes, like a full set, not having to buy them by themselves, are something like $3,000, $4,000 now.
Damn.
Man.
And probably with that autograph, it's probably worth a whole lot more.
Barney,
How big
my
DBZA
Dragon Ball
is.
DVDs. Sorry, I interrupted you. What'd you say at the very end there?
Yeah, no, that's like a very valuable piece. And then probably in terms of my second most valuable piece, would be the Mexican Blu-rays, the Spanish Blu-rays. Those were actually fan made. Those were not official. And there was only a few hundred of them ever made before they got shut down. And basically what they are is that they're Dragon Box quality, like the Dragon Box footage from those DVDs, put onto Blu-rays and properly upscaled.
Gotcha.
And those are super, super rare these days. Like I think there are only maybe about 1,000 or so that were ever made.
Wow.
And those were cheap when I got them because they were still being made, but
oh man,
those Blu-rays, man, those are kind of one of a kind. Those are like custom.
Sure are. Spidey here saying I have issue 197 of Amazing Spider-Man, which is worth around $200.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That kind of makes me wonder about because I'm fairly certain I still have it. I kind of wonder what it's worth, but I had like this paperback collection of like I don't know if it was the entire thing, but it was just like a bunch of panels and stuff about the death of Superman. Just this really nice paperback book with like various comics in them and stuff. It did feel a little disjointed to read, so I'm not sure like what about that, but I do kind of wonder if it is a collector's piece and how much that book might be worth. But as far as my end is concerned, different superhero. I had to go look it up actually because I was gonna say my PlayStation Dual Analog controller, which I should very specifically point out it's the Dual Analog controller, not the Dual Shock. But for a little while there, Sony was making an analog stick controller where the sticks were all plastic, and they were concave, and the wings or the handles of the controller were a little longer than they usually were. That controller goes around on the internet for like around $50. I found one at a play and trade for $5, and I knew I had to immediately get it. So that's what I was gonna answer with. But looking at things now, I did have a curiosity look at some of my boxed figures that I have, and I have from Christmas 3 years ago. My mom got me the Hasbro Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Green Ranger figure. I guess they're not currently manufacturing that one because, dear God, I looked up the Amazon listing and saw what people were selling it for, and like the cheapest one I think was $118.
Jesus.
So if I really needed to, even though I really wouldn't want to, but I could list that figure and get a pretty penny out of it. So I think just with that small bit of research, that's my answer to that question. So Kat, how about you? Do you got anything worth a pretty penny?
So I've got I've got kind of a different answer on this because I don't know like the price of anything that I have because I like 99% of the stuff that I have was given to me by my fiance. So you'd have to ask him if he knows what any of them are worth.
Tori, how many of those did you break the bank on?
Oh, actually, I do have an answer. So the Ohio Renaissance Festival every year has this stand out there that sells replicas of swords and stuff.
Right.
So I've got a replica of Sting from The Hobbit and of Aragorn's sword. I think both of those together were like $300.
Oh yeah, and that's the one that you showed us the pictures of, right? Right after you got them.
Yeah,
And there's like the picture of Maestro looking at it.
yeah,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, legit real weapons are definitely worth quite a bit. Um, so yeah,
And then
oh, go on.
my second answer. So it's not a most valuable in terms of cost, but most valuable in terms of this just really made me cry when I got it. But uh, April, I think 2018, I was having a bit of a rough time with some family stuff, and Tori came home one day with an Alolan Vulpix plush,
The
which is
legend.
my favorite. Yeah. I fucking love Alolan Vulpix. I think it's the cutest thing ever. So he handed it to me, and I just started bawling.
Oh.
So it is one of my most prized possessions. It sits on my desk.
Yeah, sentimental value is also very important, and I would not be able to pin any one item down based on that because there's a
Yeah,
lot of them. Uh,
yeah, that's fair.
so uh, some real nice, interesting answers in here, and a good segue as well.
Nobody come and rob me.
Our next segment is a gift addition to the collection. So like any one particular gift that means means a lot and everything. So I guess I'll start off here. On this one, I've told the story plenty of times, but I became a Sonic fan in mid 2007, right when I became a teenager, and my very first bit of Sonic merch was I found a listing of 5-inch plushes of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow. On a website called Toy Globe. Don't go there and try to purchase anything now. They like I back then they were legit. And then like a year later when KN bought like the big plush for the Sonic Song videos, she described it as weird. And nowadays they're apparently just a scam. So just steer clear of them. But
Boo.
yeah, it sucks. Uh, but my mom, after I asked, she was like, okay, and got them for me as an early Christmas gift. And I remember, like they took a while to ship, as well. So I remember it was around like Thanksgiving time, and we had the wishbone, from like the turkey. And I think it was my little sister and I did the little game to snap it or whatever. I got the bigger half, um, and so it was like the weekend, and I was like, all right, wishbone here. My wish is that these plushes come on Monday, and they did. So uh, so it was really nice, as a new Sonic fan at the time to receive those plushes. They're the Toy Network ones, for anyone curious.
Oh.
Uh, the ones that they would like give out as carnival prizes and stuff. They all had the Sonic X tags, if that means anything to anyone. Um, But yeah, I got those, and I originally intended to use them for like plush adventure videos on YouTube, and thank God I didn't, because those videos would have been cringe and terrible. But just still really sentimental, and I treasure those plushes to this day. Um, so yeah, uh, Kat, let's move on to you.
Well, like I said, about 99% of the things I have were gifts from my fiance because he spoils me rotten. Um, I'm gonna. I'm going to say. Actually, I'm gonna pick one that was not a gift from him, but it was a gift from his little brother, my future brother-in-law. It is a poster of one of my favorite Magic the Gathering characters, Jace. Um, it's I don't know if you've ever seen the site Displate.
Oh yeah. I've seen like sponsored ads for them.
Yeah, the metal poster. So he got me that for Christmas a couple of years ago, knowing that I was like hyper fixated on this specific character. Like it was a whole thing. We got together for Christmas, and he's like, "Kat, you have to open my gift last." I'm like, "Okay." So I go and open the rest of my gifts, and then I finally get to his, and I open it up, and I just start squealing in the middle of the living room.
Beautiful.
Safe to say he won best gift that year.
My dude came up, said, "Save the best for last," and then single-handedly won Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is no longer ruined.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know I've looked on Displate's website a few times. Unfortunately, like it's like they have everything, but they also like haven't had
Have
anything that
nothing.
like they haven't had anything that's like really like blown my mind or anything. But it would be cool eventually to try and get one of those.
Yeah.
So Yancy, a gift that means a lot to you in terms of merch collecting?
I mean, in terms of like what really is special to me, it's not the most expensive thing in my collection, of course, but what meant a lot to me, and that I always have a lot of nostalgic memories with, was my brother, the American one, actually gave me like it was like a gift set of like the uncut DVDs of the first 3 Z movies with the Ocean dub, and that was the very first time I ever heard Dragon Ball's Ocean dub or
Oh
English
man,
in general. And it
interesting.
was so cool. Those DVDs kick a lot of ass.
Yeah, like companies weren't really doing a whole lot of uncut
They were
releases back in
accurate
the
dubs
90s.
too. They were like 95% accurate. Like that was like the first like English like region 1 thing I ever had for all of Dragon Ball. I still have my World's Strongest DVD. I still have my Tree of Might. I still have Dead Zone. You
Nice.
know, I'll always remember those. I'll always put those in a very special place in my collection.
Chia, buddy.
The cover art's amazing. Like, have you looked at Tree of Might? With like Goku. It's like a black like background with like Goku and Telus.
I'm
And they have
sure
like
I've
this.
seen it somewhere.
It's so. I gotta give you a picture of it later.
Gotcha. Spidey here says my friend gave me a Fantastic Four Taco Bell comic, which was nice. Hey, I know you've mentioned that one a few times. I hope you enjoy that comic. Um, so let's see here. Next one is a recent addition to the collection for all of us. Yancy, let's start off with you. Something recent that you've gotten.
Of course, since Dragon Ball's technically still going, I recently got the special edition, the Japanese special edition, not the American special edition, the Japanese special edition of Dragon Ball Super Superhero. That looks really nice
That
with
was a
my
fun
super
movie.
stuff. Hmm.
Uh, Kat, any recent additions?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now because I'm trying to remember the names of all of them. But one of the game stores that's still in the mall that's close to us sells like just a bunch of knickknacks and stuff. And one of the things I picked up recently was a collection of the Kingdom Hearts keyblades. So they're not quite keychains, but for lack of better classification, I'll call them keychains. And so there's obviously the standard Keyblade, and then I've got Oblivion in here, and I think Oathkeeper is right next to it. Just it's not all of the Keyblades, obviously, because there's far too many of them, but it's like the most popular ones. Yeah, and they're just sitting on top of my shelf here.
Nice. Spidey says a Mexican Marvel Coca-Cola pin. Cool. Cool.
I think this guy likes DC.
Oh yeah, I mean he said plenty of times, Batman's his favorite superhero. So as we established earlier, he's got the movie Standee from 1989, man.
Yeah, no, the girls are gonna be all over him.
For sure. In my answer to the recent edition was back in May I turned 30. um And this one really counts as a steal, and maybe I should have had like a good steal price wise as one of the categories, but uh, I saw it on Amazon and I wanted it when it came out last year, but the price was just so much. It's another Power Rangers Lightning collection thing. It was a 5-figure set of the Alien Rangers, who have not gotten a lot of figures over the years. They had them like back in the 90s when that arc of the show aired, and then the Red Ranger got like one more back in 2014, but that's been the extent of it. So I was pretty hyped to see that they were getting like really nicely articulated, detailed figures as the Lightning Collection provides. Um, but the set was $120, and I'm like, that's kind of a ripoff, man, because like the individual figures themselves sell for like between $10 and $25 usually. So like $120 for 5 of them is a markup, you know. Uh, and usually it would like the case would be like if you get 5 of them in one package, it would be cheaper. It turns out a year later, like I don't know what Hasbro's situation with Power Rangers is. Uh, they gave the toy license off to Playmates, so I'm kind of thinking that like the Lightning collection is gonna die here pretty soon. Um, but it did mean I guess they just wanted to get rid of stock or something. But I saw it on Amazon for $60, and I was like, all right, this is my birthday present from my mom this year. Uh, so I got it, and it's nice to have figures of the Alien Rangers because I really like those designs too, and we will be seeing that in the slideshow um, later on. Uh, I just got them still in the box in my closet, and every day I look at that box and I'm like, yeah, man, cool. uh, so there's my answer for that. Um, as far as the next category is, we've got like something that you would really like to add to the collection, like something that you've been maybe eyeing for a while, that you at some point in your life, like you're just like, I have to have this someday. Um, and let's go with Cat first.
So the same store that I got my Keyblades from, they also sell the Pokemon gym badges for, I don't think it's all of the regions, but like a good majority of them. And I really, really fucking want the Sinnoh badges because Sinnoh is my favorite region.
I saw a box like that just last night, actually, over a call. That had the Kanto badges in it, and
I would love to get the Kanto and Johto ones.
yeah, oh for sure. I love shit like that. That like they sell like pins of say the Pokemon badges or like the Chaos Emeralds or Dragon Balls like made of
Yeah.
glass. I love that. We saw at least the Dragon Balls if you remember, Kat, like when we went to the mall last year for that anime store.
Yeah, I remember.
I love
I did
that
want to
shit.
get those, but
I love that shit when they like when fans make that sort of stuff. It's pretty cool. So that's a pretty interesting pick.
mhm.
But yeah. Uh, make sure to get another set so that you can have 10 Kanto badges like Gary Oak. Uh, um, Yancy, you anything in particular that you would
Yes,
like to
as
add?
as much as I'm pained to admit this, I don't own every version of the manga. And but one specific version that I feel like is a crime that I never owned this. I've always wanted to collect the original issues of Weekly Shonen Jump that had the initial chapters of Dragon Ball. That like
So
as they
like
were released back in the 80s and the 90s.
those OG
Yeah, the magazines
magazines.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yes. I
that
would
would be pretty dope.
like I own the manga 3 times. I wouldn't mind owning it a fourth.
And then like you get the entire run of Dragon Ball, and that went on for 12 years.
Hmm.
So you'd be getting like bits and pieces of a bunch of other different stories in there too.
Yes, I would. And I think that'd be so cool because my brother actually owns a couple of those back issues.
Yeah, that's a
And he showed me them and I'm like, those things are so cool. The art's like exquisite.
yeah that it's a very ambitious desire, but if you were able to do it, like that'd be pretty cool.
Yes, and of course I would also love to own the other versions, like the Tonkon release of the manga, which were more so recreations of the Shonen Jump issues, but except without all the other fluff in there. It's all the stuff related to the Dragon Ball stuff, like interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would also love to own that version of the manga as well, if only for the different spine art.
yeah. Um, as far as my answer to this question is concerned, I'm so surprised that like they had it back in the 90s, but and that that would be cool to own too. I've got like a couple on like my eBay wish list, I believe. But like after Bandai took over the Godzilla license uh, in the United States, I am so fucking surprised that they have never released like a vinyl figure of like Godzilla in his Heisei design from like Biolante to Space Godzilla.
They
I
never
like
did that?
no, dude. The only one that's ever come out was Burning Godzilla. Uh,
Holy.
and like that's cool too. My little brother. In fact, I'm in possession of it, but it's my little brother's figure. But I have the Burning Godzilla one. But like they did not release like the base Godzilla on that design like outside of Japan. Uh, and I have no idea why because honestly out of all the designs of Godzilla, I think that one's the perfect one. Um, though others have also been like fucking awesome. Uh, but it would be nice to get like the Japanese vinyl figure of that at some point because I doubt they're ever gonna fucking release one in America. The NECA one would be pretty cool to have too, but that's also very expensive, much like the Japanese vinyl figures
Mm-hmm.
of Heisei Godzilla. So that's one that I would like to have eventually. Just any release of them, as long as it looks normal and isn't like all scuffed and shit. Because again, I just like as a Godzilla fan, in my personal opinion, like that is just the perfect Godzilla design, right there. So that's my answer for that. Um, and with that, we have just before the fan question, the image slideshow of some of our stuff. So I'm going to temporarily stop streaming the chat for you guys, and I'm going to stream OBS on the screen share so that you guys can like describe what's in the pictures.
Yeah.
So, Kat, yours is first. So let's take a little deep dive here into our collections. So,
There's Coca-Cola the polar bear.
yeah, I love the way that one is labeled in particular because it's like Coca-Cola, big ass letters, and then polar bear in like little teeny letters.
Oh, baby, polar bear.
I can't remember how long we've had that one. The thing I have to say is that this is mine and Tori's like combined collection of Funko Pops. So some of these are his. But yeah, I think the Coca-Cola bear is one of my favorites. Obviously, Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I could go on a whole tangent about Kingdom Hearts. I'm not going to do that here. The ones at the top, the Gara and Tamari Funko Pops, are also a recent addition. I think we got them the same day that I got my my Keyblades, and yeah, it just kind of shows you the variety of fandoms that Tori and I are into.
Oh yeah, certainly. I noticed two two specifically of Deadpool as Bob Ross. You got the mini one over there, and then like the regular one. Uh, must really like that video.
Yeah,
Uh, but I know you have some out of the box too. If
yeah. I didn't have time to get pictures of like everything, or else I would have.
yeah,
But yeah, most of them are in my office on my desk. I think I've got a couple in our game room. I know my Sonic and Shadow Funko Pops are in there, but yeah, they're kind of all over the place.
yeah. Well, there you go. That's most of Cat and Tori's Funko collection. Let's move on to Yancey's stuff. What do we got here?
This is just a small stamp board that I put together. This is so the red one right here on the left side. It is the Dragon Box for the original Dragon Ball for the animated series, the initial one. To the right of it would be the 7 Funimation Dragon Boxes, the American ones. On top of
The
that,
crazy expensive ones.
yes, I actually own the Japanese Z boxes, which are basically 2 of those like original Dragon Ball ones in size. I just don't have those with me at the moment. Those are just in storage. Above them are the Spanish Blu-rays, which have the Dragon Box footage on them, and they're the ones that I use. I put on the Japanese audio for, and I can just watch them normally without being scared to scratch the Dragon Box disc.
Wow. Man, they looking at them now, they really do look homemade. I thought that those were like hard plastic VHS cases.
No,
first.
those are homemade Blu-ray cases. Those are custom for those that wanted to send out for them.
Gotcha.
The thing next to it that is an official release, that is the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z 5-disc CD set that has the entire everything up to just before Boo, basically. So everything from the beginning of the original series all the way up to Cell. That includes insert songs, so like Spirit versus Spirit, and you get Chala, and you get Makufushiki Adventure, you get Shunsuke Kikuchi's entire score up until that point, all the movie scores. And you get like a booklet for like lyric booklets and stuff like that. That comes with it.
Very nice.
In between there, I just have that randomly, but that's a steel book for the Bardock and Trunks specials. Since I just happen to have that with me at the time, and I don't have my Japanese Z boxes, which include the Bardock and Trunks special, so that's a little stand-in for right now.
Gotcha.
Right next to that is Dragon Box the movies, which are the Dragon Ball movies 1 through 4, and then Z movies 1 through 13, which were all, given the proper remaster from Toei and Pony Canyon. And that's meant to scale with, of course, the Z boxes and, of course, the original Dragon Ball boxes. You can tell that they're the same size there.
Yeah.
What I don't have on me right now is my versions of the manga. When I said I own the manga 3 times, I got confused. I was thinking of one of my brother's sets. No, I only own the manga twice. I own the manga once in Japanese and I own it once in English. I own the Kanzenban, the premium Kanzenban edition of the manga, which is my main way to read the manga. That is the Japanese release. And if I ever wanted to read in English for any reason at all, or if I need to lend a chapter or something to a friend of mine, I own something called the Vizbigs, which are like basically 3-in-1s, or no, they're like 5-in-1s. They're like 5 volumes of the manga compressed into one book, and they're really nice. They have beautiful artwork in them. They also have most of the full color pages, which is a thing. Oh no, wait, no, I do own the manga 3 times. I see now I have owned it so many times I'm getting confused. No, I own the full color editions as well of the manga,
Yeah.
which are really, really nice. Hardcover books.
Cool.
Now for the Funimation stuff, I own a few scant things here and there. I own the original Z movies from Funny, like the initial DVD singles from like the early 2000s.
Am I good to turn over to the next picture, by the way?
Yes.
All right.
And I own the initial 13Z movies because they actually had them uncropped in 4:3, even though they were meant to be watched in 16:9 for the movies, but it was interesting to get a 4:3 version. That's why I sought them out.
Yeah.
And I own the Dragon Ball GT Green Bricks, like the season set. I own the initial DVD singles of GT. I own the Dragon Box for GT. I just don't have it with me. Also, here's the entirety of that Z set, by the way, with all the autographs and stuff.
I remember seeing these in FYE back in the day too. Man,
You should have picked them up.
I apparently
4:3 aspect ratio, a rare thing in the US DVD releases. Here's the movie box. I also own a bunch of Dragon Ball games, but we're not going to get into that here.
This was the album you were talking about earlier, right?
Yes, that's the album right here.
You know, actually, this almost kind of looks like something that someone would put together on like an early
And
version
on a
of
website.
like either that or like an early version of Photoshop, like in 1996 or something.
I mean, to be fair though, I mean they probably used crude stuff like that.
Maybe
To put stuff like that together.
When was this released?
Let me go back and check. Here, let me grab it real quick.
And then I'll go turn over to the next photo as well. And when he comes back, he can tell us what these are. By the looks of it, I think those might actually be the Blu-rays.
Here we go. Late 1994.
Ah, okay, yeah, I
So
can
what were you
definitely see
saying?
it. These appear to be the bootleg Blu-rays.
Yes, these are the bootleg ones. These are what I just use for convenience sake if I gotta watch something real quick.
Nice.
Mm. Also, this is a special one. So the Dragon boxes come in like these big cartons, right? Like big shipping cartons from Toei.
Yeah.
And I believe Skull has actually shown them. I don't think it's in the slideshow though. But so it's like this like big also come with it. You'd bring it out, it would have the box, of course, and it would have like in the original Dragon case, it would have a special diorama that you could put together, and it was made by Kira Toriyama himself.
Oh, nice.
This is basically like a recreation of like what was shown in like stores and stuff when like the Dragon boxes were new back in the early 2000s.
Oh,
So
that's
this
pretty
is
cool.
that. Like it's like a big like fold up. I had to put the 2 DVDs right there to keep it open, since I don't typically keep it open.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of art. This is like the first time Toriyama was drawing like new Dragon Ball in like almost a decade at that point.
Yeah. It reminds me of years ago I went to a store closing for a small video game chain called the Play and Trade. And
yes, I've been there actually.
Play and Trade was so fucking cool. Like it's still around, but I'm talking about like the one in my local area. I'm so sad that it's closed down now. But when it
Mine's still
did,
open.
uh, when it did, like I got something similar to this. They were selling it for like it was like one of the in-store ads for Smash Bros. 4. Uh,
Oh wow.
and I meant to send that to one of my friends, but I couldn't get like the information. I think it's still like rolled up somewhere in like the closet of my grandma's back bedroom, uh,
Hmm.
just ready to be shipped out. We'll see if it ever does, but yeah,
One day.
one day. I think this is the last one. So
Yeah, that's a diorama.
oh, nice.
Yeah, no, my Dragon Ball collection has been going on for almost 2 decades now, and I don't think it's ever gonna stop really and truly.
Oh
Also,
yeah.
I own the Japanese Super Blu-rays, which also have their own like Dragon book. I didn't even talk about the fucking Dragon books and my Daizenshu. Not Daizenshu, my Daizenshu.
What is a
Um,
Daizenshu?
it's basically what it is. It's like a guidebook, basically.
Gotcha.
So it's like there are 7 of them, one for each of the Dragon Balls, and there are basically like interviews with Toriyama right after the manga ended. It was like some of the last things Toriyama drew were like the covers for those books,
Oh wow.
and they were like explaining like the world and like the power scaling, and like how the afterlife works from like Toriyama's perspective, and like they're talked about like the movies and stuff like that. But they mostly stuck to the manga. Where I was like, oh hey, that's where the 120 million for Frieza and the um 150 million power levels come from Goku as well. And like, so it's like a lot of things that we know about the series come from the Daizenshu books.
Gotcha.
And then the Dragon books are like come with the Dragon box. It's basically like your episode guide. It's like these big like laminated paper, very glossy interviewers with Toriyama himself, the voice cast, the staff that actually worked on the show, lead animators, everything.
Yeah, those are some of the images that I
Didn't make it in.
yeah
No.
I wasn't able to include here.
Yeah, every Dragon box comes with them, and the American Z ones have hardcovers for them
Oh,
for all
very nice.
7.
Speaking of covers, I quite like this one here where Goku's just kicking Krillin right in the forehead.
Yeah, no, it's a very weird. And then adult Goku's inexplicably right next to him.
Yeah. Oh, so weird. But I think we're moving on to my images now. Yep, there it is. There's the Alien Rangers I was just talking about. Beautiful cover art on the box. As well. Big shout outs to my mom for getting this for my birthday back in May. We have more Power Rangers Lightning Collection stuff here. This is the Gold Zeo Ranger. I know years ago, because this picture is from like 2018, I think. When I initially like showed some friends. I remember, Kat, that Tori actually got pretty excited to see this one because this was like the first Power Ranger that he ever had when he was a kid.
Yep.
Uh, and like personally, my favorite design of any individual Ranger costume ever. It's fucking peak. They have never made one nearly as good before. Well, no, they've made ones nearly as good, but this one's just been like the tippity toppity of every single one, in my opinion. December 2021 got there's that Green Ranger figure that I mentioned for Christmas that year. Um, Very nice of my mom to gift me that for Christmas and everything. This one I got for myself back in November of 2022. It was around the time, unfortunately, that Jason David Frank died, and I knew deep down in my heart that like any of the ranger powers that he's had, he's had a lot of suits, but like any of those figures were gonna fucking skyrocket in price because of scalpers buying them all out and taking advantage of his death. Zeo is my favorite season of the show, and he was the Red Ranger there. And I saw this on Amazon around the time for like $18, and I was like, if I don't get this now, it's my favorite season. It's my favorite character from the show. Uh, and the actor just died. If I don't get this right now, it's gonna be way more fucking expensive in the future. So I picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Looks like I got rid of a few pictures. Apparently. From there. Let me just have a look, because I swear to God. Oh no. Yeah. Apparently I just got rid of a couple of them. Oh well.
Oh no.
There's the slideshow, everybody. Just a few pieces of our respective collections and stuff.
And stuffs.
And stuff.
So I hope that you enjoyed. Spidey here says I remember when Blockbuster was shutting down and I got a Minecraft Creeper plush. Nice. Yeah, and unfortunately I wasn't able to peruse Blockbuster around the time that all of them were closing. I'd love to go to the one in Bend, Oregon, at some point in my life. Yeah, the very last one. Let's go change windows again so that you guys can see the chat once more. Our last thing here is the fan question. If you are a channel member under the Memory Lane Buddies viewer tier, you can submit fan questions when we're getting the episodes scheduled. And so this one comes from Spidey, and he asks, what is the strangest thing you have in your collection? Yancy, let's start off with you.
The strangest? I mean, probably those Blu-rays.
Yeah.
If you if you look at some of those DVD menus, you'll see some cursed shit in there. Like you'll see like Dragon Ball AF images.
Oh man.
Super Saiyan 5 Goku, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. So.
We'll play like Devil May Cry music in the background of like the DVD menus.
Oh, of course. So.
Yep, this was definitely made in Mexico.
So, like bootlegs aside, as far as like an official weird item, is there anything that comes to mind?
Probably that CD, because that CD is not that common, and usually it comes in like paper sleeves, and I got the version with the jewel case.
Gotcha.
Like that's a very bizarre version of the CD. That's not a very common version of the CD.
Cool. So.
I mean, I could tell you that the DVD singles of GT, I would say, are also pretty strange because they have like generation, affiliation, affliction, preparation, masturbation, castration. The weird
castration.
names.
Oh no, so Goku masturbated and then he got punished by God for it.
Yeah.
Ah, damn. So it would be the CD then, that we saw earlier, right?
Yeah, that's a very strange item I have in my collection. It was an impulse buy, just at a store one day.
I think you might as well, especially if you found it for cheap.
And also because I love Shinsuke Kikuchi's music. Fuck you, it's better than Faulkner.
Whatever, man. Kat, how about you? As far as strange items in your collection, what comes to mind for you?
The only thing that sticks out to me is because I have gotten a couple of weird looks for it. On my desk, there is an empty can of Iron Maiden's official Trooper beer. And it is a memento from the first Iron Maiden concert that Tori and I went to together.
Ah, I see. So, presumably, though, you washed out the can, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, people collect cans. I know my little brother.
Don't get me started on Tori's collection of like cans and bottles.
Dude, my
That
my
is in a
little
weird.
I wonder if it's still here or if he took it with him when he moved. But my little brother, for years upon years, I'm talking like a decade here, got like, uh, he's got like a big ass collection of like Monster cans, Monster Energy. So like, it's like every flavor that was available, and then he has like different variations of like the same flavor. So like whenever they would change the wording on the back, or like if they did a promotion, or if the can art in and of itself changed. So like the red variant of Monster, for instance, has like this camouflage look on it, but when they were first selling it, it looked like the other cans. It just had a straight up black background. He has those variations. It's nuts. So it's like something of a similar vein there.
Yeah.
So that that's pretty cool though.
Hmm.
Especially for such a momentous occasion as well.
Oh yeah.
It's nice to have something from like the very first concert you ever went to together.
Well, that wasn't the first one we went to together, but that was the first Iron Maiden concert specifically that we went to together.
Okay, gotcha.
The first one we went to together was Lindsey Sterling back in 2016.
Ah. As far as my answer, this is another one I really had to rack my head around. There might be Stranger, but the one that I was thinking of was this is going to require a story. But back in the late 1990s, the World Wrestling Federation was really fucking popular. Like wrestling in and of itself, as an industry in North America, was like actually like mainstream pop culture in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Uh, so the toy companies got some interesting ideas, and for the WWF specifically, there was this line called Maximum Sweat, where it was like these cartoonishly like beefed up versions of the wrestlers, and they have this like bow-legged pose. The articulation's not very good, and the gimmick for it was that they would come like with like this little bottle that you would fill with water. Either that or you could run them under the sink. Like they would have a compartment in the back. Where you like fill them up with water, and the gimmick was when you pushed like the button on their back or whatever, the figures would start to perspirate. Uh,
That's so weird
that is really fucking weird. And like
and gross.
uh so like the one that I have, like he wasn't an unpopular wrestler, but it's not like one of the ones, one of the more famous ones from like back then. So it's not The Rock, it's not The Undertaker, it's not Stone Cold or Kane or Triple H or anything like that. It's Gangrel, who was like a vampire dude. uh and again, he wasn't like the most popular. He wasn't the least popular either. But it's just so fucking random to have that particular one. And the way that I got it was when I was a teenager, I was like in this sort of like mentorship program where I had like a buddy come by and hang out with me so that I wasn't depressed all day. Um, and like through the months, he learned that I was a big fucking wrestling fan, and he just happened to like pass by someone in his neighborhood. I think was having a garage sale because they were moving, and he got me a box that was mostly full of wrestling stuff. uh, there's a pretty funny like 1989 Batman figure that was in there as well. I still have that one to this day. But
But
like,
do you have the original theater poster or the theater cardboard cutout?
unfortunately, no. Spidey's beat me to the punch on that one. But uh, but in there, I was so surprised because I knew immediately what it was too. Uh, you know, just to see the fucking Maximum Sweat figure of Gangrel, and I didn't even know that they made one of him. Uh, but I was like, oh my god, I actually have one of these now. uh, so yeah, if I wanted to, I'm fairly certain I know I still have it, and I'm fairly certain I'm looking at the box that it's in right now. Um, if I wanted to, I could take it out and run it under the sink, push the button, and make him sweat. So, uh, that as far as I remember or am aware, just off the top of my head, is the strangest thing in my personal collection. Uh, Spidey says my cousin has Fortnite Monopoly. He left it at my home and it's still here. Well, I guess it's yours now. Now you have Fortnite Monopoly. Uh,
Hey, Skull. I just got a text. I need to go.
gotcha.
Luckily it's after all the
Yeah.
questions are done, so it was good timing.
Luckily, right at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Take care, guys.
yeah. Good times, my dude. Thanks for co-hosting here.
Yes. Take care, you guys. I'll see you later, I guess.
Bye bye.
Later.
All right, that was Yanti Kuko Chad, and that'll just about do it for this one. All of the questions. This is turning out to be the shortest episode of Memory Lane Buddies to date.
Oh, Skull.
Oh, yes?
Before we end, could I just list off a few of Tori's answers?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So what does he prefer to collect? His biggest collection, aside from like our shared Funko Pops, is all of his like anime figures and stuff. Like I'm looking at the table that they're sitting on right now. There's like a shit ton of them, but they're kind of scattered all over the table. There's a bunch of stuff on that table as well. But figures are also, depending on where you get them, are too expensive to just be buying all the time. So he usually goes for home media and apparel.
Yeah. I know he's got a very impressive movie collection. You've shown us like plenty of times.
Oh yeah.
And the cats ruined the fucking display.
So one of the shelves is you've seen the picture of it, but one of the shelves is pushed up against like the entrance to the kitchen where there's like this. I don't know how to describe it, but there's basically a spot up top where the cats like to try and jump up, and every time they do, they end up kicking like the top shelf, either one or two or sometimes five of the DVDs that he has onto the floor. So
Man, the struggle.
the absolute struggle. His most abundant collection is Naruto or Power Rangers. It's kind of a tie between the two.
Gotcha.
And speaking of Naruto, his most valuable piece, he used to be back in the day, used to be big into cosplay, and he has an Akatsuki cloak, and he's had it for years, so there's no telling like what it's worth now, but he says he got it for like $50. And then recent edition, I kind of addressed it, the Gaara and Tamari pop figures. And then his strangest thing is this 4-foot tall Godzilla like statue thing from the Matthew Broderick movie. I'm trying to see if it's still in here. I know it's around here somewhere, but it is like pretty damn tall.
Oh man, if you can send a picture, because I know that there's like a fairly rare figure of that Godzilla that's
Sorry.
it's fucking humongous.
He heard me talking about it. He's trying to pull it out.
Gotcha.
Skull wants me to take a picture of it, so if you can, yeah.
And I must see this at some point.
His head's is his head broken?
No, that's the.
Oh, okay. About to say his head's very deflated.
Thanks for the cameo, Tori.
So yeah, I'll send that over to you.
Nice.
That's the puppet.
I'm sorry. What did he say?
What What'd you? That's the puppet. What?
Puppet.
Oh
part.
shit!
You move the mouth.
Oh my god!
It also has a button on it that gives you the Godzilla scream, like inside the puppet head.
I'm assuming Skull knows what you're talking about because he's getting very excited.
No, because I don't have that one. That one specifically is like really hard to actually puppeteer because like it's all hard parts. But I have another one of the official puppets of that Godzilla from around that time. He's like all rubber and stuff. He's from like the very end of Uberduck. Everyone new to my channel has fucking seen Uberduck. He's the monster. He's the monster that the
Yeah.
Baskerville Bunny makes.
Yeah.
And like that one we got just from like we were inspecting a place that we wanted to move into, and I guess like the previous tenants had to skedaddle out of there like real fast. It was about like a year and a half before we actually moved into the place, but like they left a bunch of toys around, and one of them was that puppet, so we just got that as a freebie.
Nice.
Oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A very nice list from Tori to wrap this whole thing up.
Mhm.
So I hope that Laz is doing all right. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to come on here and talk about her own things. But I got plenty of friends who have their own collectibles and stuff. We could definitely do another episode on the topic. Yeah, but for those that were here, I had a nice, good, fun time talking about all of our various shit. You know, for Yancey, I thank him for showing up. Kat, it's always nice to talk to you again because, man, you've just been so busy and appear on more streams. God damn it.
I'm trying. It just life's kind of hard to juggle when you're getting married and you're writing a book and you're just having to deal with a whole bunch of shit.
Honestly, I feel you. I say you appear on more streams, but like this is only the second stream of August that I've done, so can't really help the situation if I haven't been fucking streaming in general. But yeah, it's always nice to have you on. And it's very nice to talk with you about all this stuff.
Yes.
But that'll do it for this episode of Memory Lane Buddies. If you want to be in the live chat to hear us live as we're doing the podcast, become a Memory Lane Buddies viewer channel member. And then it'll, of course, give you access to the live stream when we do it so that you don't have to wait like a day or whatever for the episode to come out for the public. You can also, when we have the episodes being scheduled, we open up a questionnaire, so that's where we get the fan questions from. And in the off months, because this is a bi-monthly podcast. In the off months, we have a vote on the topic for the next episode, which you can also, partake in. So there's plenty of benefits and whatnot to being a channel member at that level. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider. But yeah. That's it for today, guys. So a big thank you to everyone involved. And we'll see you on the next Memory Lane Buddies. So until then, I have been Skull902.
I'm Kat Cooper.
Thank you for watching and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.